In the vast expanse of the Omega Sector, where 7 different alien civilizations controlled territories spanning hundreds of light years, there existed a universal joke. It wasn't about politics, trade disputes, or even the ongoing territorial conflicts that plagued the region. No, this joke was about humans and their bizarre obsession with keeping completely useless creatures they called pets. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. The Zephyrian High Council chamber erupted in what could only be described as their version of laughter, a melodic chiming sound that resonated through their crystalline bodies. Ambassador Vexalia, a towering figure whose translucent form shifted between deep purples and brilliant golds, had just finished recounting the latest intelligence report from human colonies. They actually pay for medical treatment, Vexalia's voice carried the musical quality typical of Zephyrians, but with unmistakable mockery, for creatures that serve no productive purpose whatsoever. The mockery had been going on for decades, ever since first contact with humanity revealed their peculiar relationship with animals. While other species in the Omega Sector maintained practical relationships with lesser life forms, the Krethen used biomechanical symbionts for labor, the Nexari cultivated energy-producing organisms, and the Vorthen had domesticated creatures specifically for food production. Humans seemed to keep animals for no logical reason at all. Commander Zix of the Thornback Collective, whose chitinous exterior clicked rhythmically as he moved, addressed the assembled representatives. His species viewed efficiency as the highest virtue, making human behavior particularly baffling to them. Intelligence suggests, Zix's mandibles clicked together as he spoke, that humans dedicate approximately 30% of their recreational funds to these pets. They purchase specialized nutrition, entertainment devices, even decorative accessories. The Vorthen delegate, whose gaseous form swirled within a containment suit, released what sounded like escaping steam, their equivalent of amused disbelief. We've observed humans talking to these creatures, as if expecting intelligent responses. Their communication attempts are entirely one-sided. What made the situation even more ridiculous to the assembled aliens was the variety of creatures humans kept. Intelligence reports detailed everything from small yapping quadrupeds to large, slobbering beasts that seemed to require constant attention. Some humans kept multiple creatures simultaneously, creating what appeared to be inefficient resource drains on their households. The Nexari representative, whose bioluminescent patches flickered in patterns of amusement, shared recent surveillance data. Human colonies have established entire commercial sectors dedicated to pet supplies, specialized food, toys, bedding materials, grooming services. It's an entire economy built around useless creatures. Ambassador Vexala pulled up holographic displays showing human settlements. Look at this residential area on Colony Delta 7. Notice how each dwelling unit has designated outdoor spaces, not for food production or utility purposes, but specifically for these animals to eliminate waste. The chamber filled with various sounds of alien amusement. The Krethen's mechanical whirring intensified. The Thornback's clicking became more rapid, and even the usually stoic hegemony observers, massive beings whose rocky exteriors rarely showed emotion, shifted in what might have been their version of laughter. What truly baffled the alien observers was how humans treated their pets during conflicts. Rather than abandoning these resource drains during evacuations or emergencies, humans would actually prioritize their pets' safety, sometimes at considerable cost to themselves. Military intelligence had documented numerous instances where human civilians delayed evacuation procedures to ensure their animals were safely transported. During the Proxima mining station crisis, Commander Zix reported, humans used 17% of their emergency transport capacity for animals. 17% that could have been allocated to supplies, equipment, or additional personnel. The northern delegate's gaseous form swirled more aggressively. We've also observed humans maintaining these creatures even in deep space assignments. They dedicate precious ship resources, air, water, food, space, to animals that contribute nothing to mission success. Dr. Kethran of the Nexer Science Collective had conducted extensive behavioral analysis of human-pet interactions. Her bioluminescent display shifted to academic presentation mode as she shared her findings. The relationship appears to be entirely parasitic from the animal's perspective, she explained. The creatures provide no measurable benefit. They don't enhance human physical capabilities, don't contribute to problem solving, don't increase productivity. Yet humans exhibit strong emotional attachment responses. The most puzzling aspect was how humans anthropomorphized their pets. Surveillance. Footage showed humans celebrating animal birthdays, purchasing gifts, and even including pets in family photographs. Some humans would leave inheritance funds for their pets, ensuring the animals would be cared for even after the human's death. They've created an entire mythology around these relationships, Ambassador Vexalia continued. Humans claim their pets provide companionship and emotional support, but our psychological analysis indicates these are self-delusional justifications for an irrational behavior pattern. The hegemony observer, whose voice rumbled like shifting tectonic plates, finally spoke. Perhaps this explains human military inefficiency. A species that wastes resources on useless creatures likely lacks the strategic thinking necessary for effective warfare. This comment brought renewed attention to humanity's military capabilities, or lack thereof. Human military technology was considered primitive by Omega Sector standards. Their weapon systems were largely kinetic-based, their ship designs prioritized comfort over functionality, and their tactical approaches seemed to favor defensive rather than offensive strategies. Human military doctrine appears influenced by the same irrational thinking that leads them to keep pets, Commander Zix observed. They hesitate to sacrifice individual units for strategic advantage, showing the same misplaced emotional attachment. They demonstrate toward animals. The assembled representatives agreed that humans represented no significant threat to any established power in the Omega Sector. Their pet-keeping behavior was seen as symptomatic of a species too soft, too emotional, and too inefficient to pose any real challenge to the established order. Ambassador Vexala concluded the session with what would become a prophetic statement. A species that wastes resources caring for useless animals will never understand what true strength requires. As the various delegates returned to their respective territories, the consensus was clear. Humans were a minor species, notable only for their amusing quirks and inefficient resource allocation. Their pets were nothing more than a curiosity, proof that some species never evolved beyond primitive, emotional attachments. The great irony was that while these advanced civilizations were analyzing, cataloging, and dismissing human behavior, they were completely missing something crucial happening in laboratories, research facilities, and quiet homes across human space. Something that would soon transform their mockery into respect, their laughter into fear, and their dismissal into desperate alliance-seeking. But for now, the aliens continued to laugh, completely unaware that the very thing they mocked would soon become the key to humanity's greatest strength. On the remote research facility orbiting Kepler 442b, Dr. Sarah Mitchell was conducting experiments that would have seemed impossible to the alien observers, who spent their time mocking human pet ownership. The facility, designated Station Phoenix, had been operational for 3 years under complete communication blackout, officially listed as a deep space agricultural research project. The truth was far more extraordinary. In laboratory complex C, a German shepherd named Atlas lay perfectly still while neural interface arrays mapped his brain activity. Unlike the primitive scanning equipment used in veterinary clinics, This technology rivaled the most advanced cognitive monitoring systems used for human astronauts. Dr. Mitchell's team had been secretly developing these interfaces for 5 years, funded through a network of private defense contractors who understood the potential implications. Neural pathway integration at 93%, announced Dr. James Chun, the facility's lead neuroscientist. His fingers danced across holographic displays, showing brain activity patterns that defied conventional understanding of canine intelligence. Atlas is processing mathematical sequences at a rate that shouldn't be possible. What made the situation even more remarkable was that Atlas wasn't unique. Across 12 different research stations scattered throughout human space, similar experiments were taking place with hundreds of different animals. Each facility operated under deep cover, their existence known only to a select group of researchers and military strategists who had recognized something the alien observers had completely missed. Dr. Rebecca Torres, Station Phoenix's animal behaviorist, had been studying the cognitive enhancement effects for 18 months. Her research focused on a golden retriever named Nova, whose problem-solving abilities had been steadily increasing since the neural interface integration began. "Watch this," Dr. Torres said, activating a complex three-dimensional puzzle that materialized in the air using hard light projection technology. The puzzle consisted of interlocking geometric shapes that required sequential manipulation to solve, a challenge that typically required advanced spatial reasoning skills. Nova approached the projection, her enhanced neural pathways analyzing the problem. Within 47 seconds, she had manipulated the light constructs with precise paw movements, solving the puzzle with an efficiency that amazed even the researchers who had been monitoring her progress. The breakthrough had come 2 years earlier when Dr. Mitchell's team discovered that certain animals possessed unused neural pathways that could be activated through targeted electromagnetic stimulation. The process was delicate, requiring months of gradual enhancement to avoid overwhelming the animal's existing cognitive framework. Station Meridian, located in the asteroid belt near Mars, was conducting similar research with a different focus. Dr. Kevin Walsh and his team were working with border collies, whose natural herding instincts were being enhanced and redirected toward tactical coordination exercises. A border collie named Echo had been learning to coordinate the movements of 23 autonomous drones simultaneously. Her enhanced cognitive abilities allowed her to process multiple data streams, adjust for variables in real time, and execute complex maneuvers that challenged even advanced AI systems. "The interesting thing," Dr. Walsh explained to his research partner, Dr. Lisa Rodriguez, "is that Echo doesn't just follow programmed responses. She's developing her own tactical preferences, creating new strategies we never taught her." Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. The research stations were connected through a quantum communication network that operated outside STANDARD human communication channels. This allowed the different teams to share data without alerting alien monitoring systems that might be observing human activities. On Station Omega, positioned near the outer rim of human territory, Dr. Marcus Thompson was conducting the most ambitious experiment of all. His team was working with multiple species simultaneously: German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, Siberian Huskies, and Australian cattle dogs, to develop interspecies communication protocols. The results were staggering. The enhanced animals weren't just solving individual problems. They were learning to work together in ways that surpassed their natural pack behaviors. A Belgian Malinois named Titan could communicate complex tactical information to a husky named Storm, who would then coordinate with 2 German Shepherds to execute maneuvers that required precise timing and spatial awareness. Dr. Angela Foster, the project's chief strategist, had been analyzing the military applications of these developments. Her background in asymmetric warfare made her uniquely qualified to understand the potential implications of cognitively enhanced animals in combat scenarios. Traditional military thinking focuses on overwhelming firepower and technological superiority. She explained during a classified briefing with the other research teams. But enhanced animals offer something different: unpredictability combined with loyalty, instinct enhanced by intelligence, and operational capabilities that don't fit. CONVENTIONL threat assessment models. The animals were learning skills that went far beyond their enhanced cognitive abilities. At Station Alpha, a Rottweiler named Diesel had learned to operate complex machinery using modified interfaces designed for his paws. He could pilot small reconnaissance drones, operate communication equipment, and even perform basic maintenance. Tasks on electronic systems. What made these developments particularly significant was the secrecy surrounding them. While alien observers continued to mock human pet ownership, they had no idea that those same useless animals were undergoing transformation in hidden facilities scattered across human space. The quantum communication network allowed for real-time coordination between facilities. When Station Phoenix achieved a breakthrough in neural pathway mapping, that information was instantly available to researchers at Station Meridian, who could then apply those techniques to their own subjects. Dr. Mitchell often reflected on the irony of their situation. The alien species that dismissed human pet ownership as inefficient resource allocation had no idea that humans had turned that same emotional bond into a strategic advantage. The trust between humans and their animals created a foundation for enhancement that couldn't be replicated with artificial intelligence or mechanical systems. At Station Gamma, located in the Tau Ceti system, Dr. Robert Kim was conducting long-term stability tests on the enhancement process. His team had been monitoring the same group of enhanced animals for over 2 years, documenting not just their cognitive improvements, but also their emotional and social development. The remarkable thing, Dr. Kim noted in his research logs, is that enhancement doesn't diminish their bond with humans. If anything, it strengthens it. These animals understand what we're trying to accomplish, and they're willing participants in the process. The enhanced animals were beginning to demonstrate abilities that surprised even their handlers. A German shepherd named Phoenix at Station Beta had started anticipating equipment failures before diagnostic systems detected problems. She would alert technicians to issues hours before conventional monitoring would have identified them. The research teams were also discovering that different breeds responded to enhancement in unique ways. Border Collies excelled at tactical coordination. German Shepherds showed remarkable problem-solving abilities. Rottweilers demonstrated exceptional mechanical aptitude, and Golden Retrievers proved adept at pattern recognition and predictive analysis. As the months passed, the enhanced animals were not just learning individual skills. They were developing a collective intelligence that transcended traditional pack behaviors. Animals at different facilities, connected through the quantum communication network, were beginning to share information and coordinate activities across vast distances. The stage was being set for something unprecedented in galactic history. While alien civilizations continued to analyze human weaknesses and dismiss their military potential, humans and their useless pets were preparing for a demonstration that would shatter every assumption about Earth's capabilities. The hidden potential was almost ready to be revealed. The transformed galaxy bore little resemblance to the one that had existed just 18 months earlier. Where once the Omega Sector had been divided among 7 distinct alien civilizations, each jealously guarding their territories and dismissing human capabilities, now a new power structure had emerged that none could have predicted. In the rebuilt chambers of what was formerly the Zephyrian High Council, representatives from across known space gathered for the first Interspecies Cooperation Summit. The location itself was symbolic. The Zephyrians had requested that their former capital serve as neutral ground, acknowledging their role in underestimating humanity and seeking to make amends through practical cooperation. Dr. Sarah Mitchell stood at the central podium, but she was not alone. Atlas, the German shepherd whose neural enhancements had begun the revolution, sat beside her as an equal participant. The visual was striking: a human scientist and an enhanced animal addressing the most powerful beings in the galaxy as partners rather than master and pet. The era of dismissing entire species based on surface observations has ended, Dr. Mitchell addressed the assembly. Atlas's enhanced cognitive abilities allowed him to simultaneously monitor multiple translation systems, ensuring that her words were being accurately conveyed to each alien delegation in their native languages. The changes went far beyond diplomatic protocols. The economic structure of the galaxy had been fundamentally altered. Human colonies, once considered backwater settlements of minor importance, had become centers of innovation and strategic value. The enhanced animal programs had produced technologies and capabilities that every major civilization now sought to access through trade agreements. Ambassador Vexala of the Zephyrians, whose crystalline form had lost much of its former arrogance, presented the new territorial agreements. Under the revised accords, humans had been granted autonomous control over 12 star systems, with exclusive rights to develop enhanced animal research facilities. More importantly, they had been recognized as the galaxy's leading experts in cognitive enhancement and interspecies communication. We acknowledge, Vexala's musical voice carried notes of humility that would have been unthinkable 18 months earlier, that our previous assessments of human capabilities were based on incomplete understanding. The integration of enhanced animal intelligence with human strategic thinking has created a paradigm that exceeds our conventional military and scientific models. The Krafen Collective had perhaps undergone the most dramatic transformation. Their emphasis on mechanical efficiency had led them to request extensive technology sharing agreements with human researchers. Commander Zix, whose chitinous exterior now bore insignia indicating alliance status, had become an advocate for biomechanical integration programs. The efficiency we sought through purely mechanical means, Zix acknowledged, has been surpassed by the human approach of enhancing natural intelligence. We request permission to establish joint research facilities to explore the application of these principles to our own symbiotic technologies. The military landscape had been completely restructured. The Thornback Collective's traditional emphasis on overwhelming force had proven inadequate against enhanced animal tactics. Their delegation, led by General Kekstar, now sought to understand and adapt to new forms of asymmetric warfare that prioritized intelligence and adaptability over raw power. Our strategic doctrines assumed that superior firepower would always prevail, General Kekstar admitted. The enhanced animals demonstrated that creativity, unpredictability, and emotional intelligence could overcome technological advantages we considered insurmountable. Dr. Angela Foster, now holding the newly created position of Galactic Strategic Coordination Director, outlined the new defense frameworks that would govern interspecies conflicts. The enhanced animals had not only proven themselves in combat, but had also developed new approaches to conflict resolution that emphasized de-escalation and strategic precision over destruction. Enhanced animals possess an intuitive understanding of threat assessment that combines instinct with enhanced reasoning, Dr. Foster explained. This allows for military responses that neutralize threats while minimizing collateral damage, a capability that purely technological approaches have struggled to achieve. The research facilities that had once operated in secret were now openly acknowledged as centers of galactic importance. Station Phoenix had become the headquarters for the Enhanced Intelligence Consortium, drawing researchers from multiple species who sought to understand and adapt the enhancement principles to their own biological systems. Dr. Rebecca Torres, now serving as Director of Interspecies Cognitive Research, had established protocols for sharing enhancement techniques with allied civilizations. However, the emotional bond between humans and their animals remained a crucial component that other species found difficult to replicate. The success of the enhancement program depends on more than just technology. Dr. Torres explained to a gathering of alien scientists. The trust relationship between humans and animals creates a foundation that allows for cognitive enhancement without psychological trauma. This emotional component appears to be essential for stable, long-term enhancement results. The enhanced animals themselves had evolved beyond their original roles. Atlas had become humanity's first enhanced animal ambassador, capable of direct communication with alien species through technological interfaces that translated his enhanced thoughts into multiple languages simultaneously. His presence at diplomatic functions was no longer novelty, but necessity. His insights often proved crucial for understanding alien motivations and intentions. Nova, the golden retriever whose pattern recognition abilities had proven decisive in multiple conflicts, now served as head of the Galactic Threat Assessment Division. Her enhanced cognitive abilities allowed her to process vast amounts of data from across the galaxy, identifying potential conflicts before they escalated into military confrontations. The economic implications of the new order were staggering. Enhanced animals had proven capable of optimizing industrial processes, improving agricultural yields, and developing new technologies that benefited all participating species. Trade agreements now specifically included provisions for enhanced animal expertise, with their services becoming one of humanity's most valuable exports. The Nexari Science Collective, once dismissive of human emotional attachments, had established extensive research partnerships to study the psychological mechanisms that made enhancement possible. Dr. Kethran, whose bioluminescent displays now showed patterns of respect rather than mockery, led efforts to understand how emotional bonds could enhance rather than hinder scientific achievement. "We have learned," Dr. Kethran admitted, "that what we interpreted as inefficiency was actually a sophisticated form of biological and psychological optimization. The human capacity for emotional attachment has proven to be a strategic advantage rather than a weakness." The galactic communication networks had been revolutionized by enhanced animal input. Their unique cognitive perspectives had identified patterns in interstellar communications that had previously gone unnoticed, leading to more efficient routing protocols and improved diplomatic channels between species. Perhaps most significantly, the enhanced animals had developed their own cultural identity. While maintaining their bonds with humans, they had begun establishing their own social structures, communication protocols, and even artistic expressions. Echo, the border collie whose tactical coordination had proven decisive in multiple battles, had founded the Enhanced Intelligence Cultural Council, creating a bridge between enhanced animals and the broader galactic community. The transformation was complete, but ongoing. Research continued into new forms of enhancement, new applications for enhanced intelligence, and new ways to integrate these capabilities into galactic society. The mockery that had once characterized alien attitudes toward human pets had been replaced by recognition, respect, and eager collaboration. As the Interspecies Cooperation Summit concluded, Dr. Mitchell reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. The galaxy that had once dismissed humans and their pets as curiosities now looked to them for leadership in cognitive enhancement, strategic innovation, and interspecies cooperation. Atlas, understanding her thoughts through their enhanced bond, looked up at her with intelligent eyes that held the wisdom of two species working in perfect harmony. The new order was not just about power or territory, it was about the recognition that true strength came not from dismissing differences, but from finding ways to transform them into advantages. The galaxy would never again underestimate the power of bonds that transcended species, the strength that came from emotional connections, or the strategic value of creatures once dismissed as mere pets. The age of enhanced intelligence had begun, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history. The educational systems across all participating civilizations had undergone comprehensive restructuring. Universities that once taught purely theoretical xenobiology now offered practical courses in interspecies cognitive enhancement. The Vorthan Academy of Sciences had established the first intergalactic program where alien students worked directly with enhanced animals to develop new research methodologies. Dr. Marcus Thompson, formerly of Station Omega, now directed the Galactic Enhanced Intelligence Institute. His revolutionary work with multi-species communication had evolved into a comprehensive curriculum that trained diplomats, scientists, and military personnel from dozens of different worlds. Students learned not just to work alongside enhanced animals, but to understand the fundamental principles that made such partnerships possible. The traditional approach to intelligence assumed that cognitive ability was fixed and species-specific. Dr. Thompson explained to a mixed class of Krethan engineers and Nexari biologists, enhanced intelligence has shown us that cognitive potential exists on a spectrum that can be expanded through cooperation, trust, and technological augmentation. The social implications extended far beyond military and scientific applications. Enhanced animals had begun participating in galactic cultural exchanges, contributing perspectives that enriched art, philosophy, and social theory across multiple civilizations. Diesel, the Rottweiler whose mechanical aptitude had revolutionized industrial processes, had co-authored technical manuals that were now standard texts in engineering programs throughout the sector. Storm, the Siberian Husky whose endurance and team coordination had proven crucial in extended operations, had developed new approaches to long-term project management that optimized resource allocation while maintaining team morale. His insights had transformed construction projects, research expeditions, and colonization efforts across multiple worlds. The hegemony observers, whose massive rocky forms had once symbolized immutable strength, had perhaps shown the greatest willingness to adapt. Their delegation, led by Constructrix Velmara, had established mineral extraction partnerships that utilized enhanced animal abilities to identify optimal mining locations and coordinate complex excavation operations. The stability we prized, above all else, Constructrix Velmara acknowledged, has been enhanced rather than threatened by incorporating enhanced intelligence into our operations. These partnerships have increased our efficiency by factors we had not thought possible, while reducing environmental impact to levels that ensure long-term sustainability. The technological innovations continued to emerge at an unprecedented pace. Enhanced animals had developed new approaches to faster-than-light communication that utilized quantum entanglement principles in ways that purely mechanical systems had failed to achieve. Phoenix, the German Shepherd whose predictive abilities had prevented countless equipment failures, had contributed to the development of maintenance protocols that extended the operational life of critical systems across multiple civilizations. Medical applications had proven equally revolutionary. Enhanced animals possessed sensory capabilities that, when augmented through technological enhancement, could detect physiological conditions in multiple alien species with accuracy that surpassed traditional diagnostic equipment. A golden retriever named Liberty had become the first enhanced animal to serve as a multi-species medical consultant, working with physicians across the galaxy to develop new diagnostic techniques. The agricultural revolution had transformed food production throughout the sector. Enhanced animals could assess soil conditions, predict weather patterns, and optimize crop rotation schedules with precision that had eliminated food shortages on dozens of worlds. Their natural instincts, enhanced through technological augmentation, provided insights into biological systems that purely analytical approaches had missed. Titan, the Belgian Malinois, whose tactical coordination had proven decisive in multiple conflicts, had transitioned to overseeing large-scale terraforming projects. His ability to coordinate multiple variables simultaneously made him invaluable for the complex environmental engineering required to make hostile worlds habitable for various alien species. The legal framework governing enhanced intelligence had required entirely new categories of rights and responsibilities. Enhanced animals were granted legal standing as sentient beings, with rights to make autonomous decisions about their own enhancement levels and career paths. The Enhanced Rights Commission, jointly headed by Dr. Lisa Rodriguez and ECHO, had established protocols that ensured enhanced animals could participate fully in galactic society, while maintaining the emotional bonds that made their enhancement possible. Archaeological projects had been revolutionized by enhanced animal participation. Their enhanced senses could detect artifacts and structural remains that traditional scanning equipment overlooked. Ancient civilizations that had been lost to history were being rediscovered through collaborative efforts between alien archaeologists and enhanced animals whose abilities transcended conventional investigative methods. The space exploration programs had been fundamentally transformed. Enhanced animals could withstand longer journeys, required fewer resources, and provided psychological support for mixed-species crews on extended missions. Their enhanced intelligence allowed them to contribute to navigation, system monitoring, and emergency response procedures in ways that improved mission success rates dramatically. Environmental restoration projects across the galaxy had benefited from enhanced animal expertise. Their natural instincts, augmented through technological enhancement, could assess ecosystem health and predict environmental changes with accuracy that guided successful restoration efforts on worlds damaged by industrial activity or natural disasters. The intelligence networks that had once operated in secrecy had evolved into open research collaboratives that shared discoveries across species boundaries. The quantum communication systems originally developed for enhanced animal coordination had become the foundation for galactic-wide information sharing that accelerated scientific advancement beyond anything previously achieved. As the new order solidified, it became clear that the transformation was permanent and expanding. Young beings from across the galaxy now grew up expecting cooperation between species, enhanced intelligence as a normal part of society, and emotional bonds as sources of strength rather than weakness. The mockery that had once characterized interspecies relations had been replaced by mutual respect, collaborative innovation, and shared commitment to continued growth and discovery. The enhanced animals themselves continued to evolve, developing new capabilities and deeper understanding of their role in galactic society. They had become bridges between species, translators of intent and emotion, and pioneers of possibilities that none had imagined when the first neural enhancement experiments began in secret. Research facilities scattered across human space. Future stretched ahead with unlimited potential, built on foundations of trust, cooperation, and the recognition that true strength came not from dominance but from partnership, not from dismissing differences but from transforming them into advantages that benefited all. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hits the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.